I tell y'all what's on my mind?
What's up? That's your brother.
Can I get a couple of things on my
Your nephew,
chest?
your friend, but I can't be your son. That's your kinfolk, William Jewell. Well, giving you my detail as I articulate. This is articulating rap. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and turn all the notifications on so you can get all the new content and all the new posts when I make them. I just came here to give you my detail. I just came here to articulate the music, and sometimes there's not a lot of music being released. There's not a lot of things to dissect. So we just kind of talk about music news, what's going on in the music industry. And I mean, this is another interesting week as we get closer to the Super Bowl and as we get closer to seeing SZA, Kendrick Lamar, right? Because they did announce that SZA was definitely going to be a guest, and a lot of people, watched that video a little bit closer, dissected it a little bit more, and they saw some things that might hint at Tyler, the creator, being present at the Super Bowl as well. And you heard the Hey Now song in the background, and we know Tyler did a remix, freestyle to that Hey Now. It was around Christmas time, if not on Christmas, I believe. And to me, that didn't really impress me, honestly. I ain't gonna lie to you. Chromacopia was a big album. Tyler, the creator, the West Coast, yeah, they own one right now. But honestly, I don't think it would make sense, just from a personal perspective for Kendrick to put Tyler on the stage with him, because they really haven't done anything musically together, right? If I'm not mistaken, I don't remember them doing any songs together, right? So from that standpoint, J-Rock, Schoolboy, those type of options will make a little bit more sense to me rather than putting Tyler, the creator, in. When I saw those steppers march right by that yard line and Kendrick was on the phone saying, this is going to be a big show, like, I thought of Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. I thought of that. But people said Tyler. And I saw the video where they compared it to Tyler, and they might be right. I don't know. But one thing that we want him to deliver is not like us, right? One thing that's causing hysteria in the OVO camp is not like us, and that's why Drake has been petitioning, and that's why Drake is still standing on these lawsuit claims. So it is what it is, but we want to see not like us. We want to see all right. We want to see Euphoria. We want to see Money Trees. We want to see Don't Kill My Vibe. We want to see Mad City, right? We want those songs. Give me N95 too. We want some songs from GNX as well. Like, and then we go to Humble. Then we go to Loyalty. Like, he got a lot of rabbits he can pull out the hat because, as Drake says, he's a magician. He got a lot of rabbits he can pull out the hat when he's on that stage. And just to kind of dive a little bit deeper into this conversation, a lot of people are saying that SZA is a cheat code, right? I heard on Rory and Mal, even Joe Budden, somebody that usually has opposing viewpoints to that group, were saying that having SZA is a cheat code, right? I believe TDE is the cheat code. I believe their, artist development and how they've, groomed their artists and made them who they become is a code that a lot of labels need to study, right? A lot of labels need to look at and try to emulate that and not try to rush these artists to put out music but make sure that the music that they put out is of quality, is of sound, body, mind, and spirit. Something fruitful, something of substance, something of sustenance, right? That can feed a village because we need to eat out here as the people in the culture. So I believe that's more of a nod to TDE, right? Because when you say that's a cheat code, I feel like you're taking away shine from Kendrick Lamar when you say SZA is a cheat code because Kendrick Lamar could use any other female artist to be on his songs, to be on stage with him at this moment. So to say that he's using a cheat code by using SZA to me is downplaying his meteoric rise within the last year, right? Downplaying his catalog, his performance. Like one of the better performing hip hop artists there's been to recent date, right? So I feel like Kendrick is sharing the stage, right? He's passing the baton. This is a relay race, right? They say that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I think they trying to go a little bit further than some of the dynamics, some of the restrictions, and who cares about what people think if he's using a cheat code? But I feel like he's the one that's putting SZA on. Right? I believe he's a part of her rise. He's a part of her development. Right? When we think about the Black Panther soundtrack, when we think about the Control album, like 30 for 30, when we think about that extra bump she got when she released that deluxe. Kendrick, he didn't have to use SZA on G and X. He could have worked with Rihanna. He could have worked with Taylor. He could have worked with any other pop star woman that he wanted to. He chose SZA. So, I mean, I get it. SZA deserves her credit. She's a big artist, right? She does well with what she does. And shout out to the movie with her and Keke Palmer. Shout out to Issa Rae, right? But I feel like don't take away from the moment, man. Y'all know he deserved this moment. And just to be saying this type of rhetoric and trying to establish this type of narrative, to me, is disgraceful, right? Because I'm tired of people saying this is disgusting, this is nasty work. Because we really don't talk like that for real, but this is shameful. We can use some other words to kind of like detail what we see when these people are trying to display this rhetoric of a cheat code. Because if that's the case, when SZA is being featured on GNX, when SZA is going on tour with Kendrick Lamar, you got to understand she's tapping into some of his fan base as well. So I believe this is a good partnership. I don't believe that one is taking the advantage of the other. I don't believe one is riding the coattails of the other. I believe this is kind of like a evenly play, and the fact that she's guest starring, right, on this Super Bowl set, it just shows their camaraderie, their friendship, their togetherness, their family, their bond, right? And that's TDE. So it's people that's going to say things that's going to try to separate them and try to pit them against each other, because saying things like that would kind of make me feel some type of way. But I digress. And we see how TDE, we see that example, how they're allowing their artists to develop. And I want to shout out to CMG, Yo Gotti, right? Because Zillionaire Doe, maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong, but he just got signed And we got to speak on my Dallas people, my Dallas native zillionaire Doe, right? He just got signed with uh Yo Gotti and CMG. Yo Gotti was in Dallas, right, when it was cold as hell and they was outside just showing love and celebrating and like just giving, you know, praise to the signing and, you know, putting that spotlight on Zillionaire Doe because we got Big X the plug holding down Dallas. I know some people might know of Montana, right? And we got other artists, Four Bats. You know, we got people holding down Dallas, and I think it's like a good look for the city, right? I think it's a good look for Texas. So I'm not so familiar with Zillionaire Doe. I told a friend, like, hey, bro, I don't really be in that world of rap like that until it really just come across. And it did come across with a Yo Gotti signing. So, like, when it comes to that lane of rap, I'm not going to be into that underground scene. Like, it'll have to be mainstream or it'll have to really, you know what I'm saying, be notable or noticeable for me to, like, take attention to it. So, shout out to him. Shout out Dallas, Texas, right? Shout out the whole Texas from Houston, Austin, San Antonio, Waco, Dallas, right, man? Let's keep it going. Let's show them what this state is about, right? And let's keep delivering music and not just, you know, global, not just national music, but give it that southern twang, give it that flair, give it that dirty side. You know what I'm saying? Give them that flavor that they need to know and differentiate us between the other artists because Big X does a good job at it. I I won't let it change me. I remain forever and like that song stuck in my head. But as you can hear his production, he got that southern twang, like that dirty south flavor that, you know, oozes out of his production. And although his flow, his cadence is very similar, the production, you know, is that southern energy. Right, so shout out to Zillionaire Doe. And damn, Joey Badass. Sorry, not sorry. Right? And people really just riding Joey nuts, bro, cause like everything he's done so far has been mediocre. Right? I like the aspect of the competition. But like none of that shit moved me. Like none of that shit really. I like Sorry Not Sorry better than The Ruler's Back, especially the first part of it. But like lyrically, what is he saying? What is he really talking about? He's sending shots, but like to say he's being lyrical, to me, that's not valid. To me, that's not true. He didn't use any punchlines, metaphors, or similes that really just kind of stood out to me. I think that's more of a hype beast. I think Joey is rapping right on a conductor beat, New York flows, New York style. He trying to big up his city, as he said. Right, he won't delete later like J. Cole did. But other than that, like, what is he really saying? And they said it sounds just like another warning shot. It sounds like like he's not naming any names. He's not being direct. So he really not trying to put his hat in that mix like that. If so, he will be direct. And I mean, this is a great rollout strategy. A lot of people are talking about him. But I go back to what DJ Head has been saying, right? He doesn't have a true hit. Like, you're trying to compete with guys who have a great catalog of hit records and high quality albums, classic albums, right? But you don't even have a hit yourself. What song do we associate Joey Badass with? And I love Joey. I love Unique. Dark skinned brother, smooth, player made. got style, knows how to talk to the ladies, knows how to carry himself like a man, knows how to keep the nut into himself. Because he's always going on interviews saying how he doesn't ejaculate. He keeps his essence within, right? So, I mean, I like Joey as a person. And I like the action that he's taking with trying to compete. But the product, right? I like the strategy, right? I like the company. I like the marketing. But the product that you're giving me behind this marketing campaign is just not my cup of tea. It's just not working, right? It'll make me go to the store, right? I might purchase it, right? I might use this product, but next time I see a commercial, next time I see an advertising, post on social media, I won't pay it no mind because the product is not going to get me back into the store. It's not going to get me to order online. It's not going to produce a sense of urgency within me to get that product. And sorry, not sorry, and the ruler is back, right? That's just not going to do it. And what people don't realize is that if you listen to the 2000s, right, if you listen to Joey Bada's last album, he said the big three was just him, J. Cole, and Kendrick. He actually disregarded Drake. So honestly, he kind of been hinting at he felt like he should have been in that conversation, or he should be, known as somebody that's an elite rapper. But the thing is it's delusional, as people say. Because when we look at your catalog and when we look at your hits, and then we kind of compare you to these other guys side by side, you can't stand with them without your knees being shaky and your palms are sweaty. Like, you can't stand next to these guys upright, right? You'll have a crook in your back because side by side, no, you not that guy. And salute to my brother Joey, right? Salute to my brother Joey, because last thing I wanted to make it seem like is as if I'm talking down, but I mean, when you talk about it, these are really the facts, generally speaking. R.I.P. DJ Unk. I walk it out like Usher. If they say real talk, I probably don't touch you. I probably don't trust you. Even Jesus had 12 disciples on the level. Man, y'all forgive me for messing that up. Vroom, vroom. Now they go 3,000. Your white tee, well, to me, looks like a nightgown. And do you? And then you look like the man that you are or what you could be. He said, please do your mama a favor and take that thing 2 sizes down. And then you look like the man that you are or what you could be. Like that 3,000 verse on Walk It Out. Like, without Walk It Out, we don't get that 3,000 verse. Right? And salute to DJ Unk. And walk it out, walk it out, walk it out, walk it out. West side, walk it out. South side, walk it out. Like, man, he need to be celebrated. He need to be, given his flowers. And I hope he was giving his flowers while he was here, in Atlanta. But salute to DJ Unk, R.I.P. That was a classic song. I definitely can remember it in my early teens, just jamming to it and, just really embracing that movement in Atlanta when they kind of took over hip hop, and DJ Unk and Walk It Out, those type of records were a part of the takeover. So, when we think about the South and we think about the movement that was very essential to the Southern movement of hip hop and how we became on top. Right? And in other news, Chris Brown sues for $500 million over a docuseries. He's suing Apple LLC and Warner Brothers for putting out a docu-series about him being a sexual abuser and abuser, and just going down the list of his history of violence. And pretty much, I don't have the actual lawsuit details right in front of me, but just kind of saying that all these false accusations on him. Will he get $500 million? I don't know. And I guess people are saying, like, see, nobody's saying nothing when Chris Brown does this, but when Drake does it, it's a problem. Like, and if we're all grown ups and we're all grown folk, we know that this is not the same. If you're trying to troll and you're trying to reach and trying to justify what Drake is doing, then by all means have at it. But I won't participate in your type of trolling and foolishness, because we know this is not the same. And to be honest, at the end of the day, my issue with Drake is you was that arrogant to think that you was going to win this rap battle. It's not the fact that he's doing this, right? It's not the fact that he's actually suing the record label for defamation, right? But it's the fact that he said all those nasty things that he said, and when things are said about him, he's ready to run and tell, right? He's tattletelling. He's being a crybaby. And UMG, basically, they filed a motion to dismiss the petition that's going on between another petition in Texas with iHeart Media and UMG that Drake is petitioning. And I'll read that, what they said about him. And they said, rather than addressing his grievances with Kendrick Lamar, petitioner has resorted to strategic legal retaliation against UMG and others in an apparent effort to pressure them to limit the distribution of Not Like Us. And that's crazy, because basically they putting the ownership back on him. You got to be accountable. Y'all are both artists from the same record label. We're giving y'all the same type of attention. If a song catch fire, we're supposed to pursue it and market it just like we would market any other song that has a lot of traction. And we can go back to the last thing they said about Drake, UMG, when they was said Drake wanted to participate in these outrageous rap battles. And when he was doing the same thing against other people, he had our support. But now when things aren't going his way, right, he calls it defamation. So that's really the issue with Drake, right? You know what I'm saying? That's like if Chris Brown put out a docuseries talking bad about Warner Brothers, but Warner Brothers had the better docuseries talking about him, and he got mad and was like, "No, y'all can't do that." That's the same thing, right? And it's just crazy. It's just wild. But shout out to Kansas City, shout out to Philadelphia Eagles going on to the Super Bowl. New Orleans, man, right? They already played before. Jalen Hurts had a great game, but he had that fumble, and that was really ultimately what cost them the game. And we'll see what they got going. Saquon Barkley, he's running like a man with his man that's on fire, like a man that got something to prove, man. Like, for him to go through what he's gone through with the Giants and to put the Eagles on his back like he has, like, man, he deserves to be commended. He deserves to get some type of recognition. I mean, he deserves a championship. And then when we go on the other side of the field and we talk about Patrick Mahomes, we talk about the elite guy in this era of quarterbacks like Josh Allen. He failed to get past him again. The only man that's been able to beat him in the playoffs is Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow did not make the playoffs this year. But Pat Mahomes, he's different. And I know a lot of people are hating the Chiefs. Wayne sent out some tweets about the refs cheating when they played against Texas. They was going to beat the Texans regardless. Let's be real about that. But when we talk about Kansas City Chiefs, when we talk about Patrick Mahomes, when we talk about greatness, when we talk about consistency, when we talk about just the poise, the composure, to be stoic in the pocket, right? Like to run when he needs to run. He ran and scored a touchdown. Extending drives with his feet. But we don't know him as a runner. We're more focused on his arm talent. That's how great this man is. I remember when a running back would just run a little bit. That was like, oh my God, his legs, he can run. But this man, arm talent is so well, you don't even think about his running ability. Man. Eagles #1 defense. Cooper DeJean. White boy playing safety, playing DB. Right? He attacking. Jalen Carter, D-line. Right? I mean, they got a good defense. Georgia boys. And so does KC. Chris Jones. I can't pronounce old dude name, number 56. Karofoulos. I hope I did it right. We got McDuffie. We got Bolton. So, man, like, this is going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game. And when we go back to the Kendrick Lamar performance, like, this is the perfect game for him to perform at, right? Because this is going to be a high power. They put down there, 50 points on Washington Commanders? I knew the Washington Commanders was going to come back down to earth at one point, but shit, they had all them damn turnovers. They wasn't going to be able to win that game regardless. So, you know, I haven't been talking about my sports like that. I've been keeping it all hip-hop, right? But this is just something that we got to talk about because it's leading up into the Super Bowl. It's leading up into the performance. And, man, just greatness. I'm somebody that likes to dissect greatness because I'm somebody that aims for it and strives for it. And when I see it being displayed on the TV, right, I feel like a child again. I feel like, you know, that childhood when you're being inspired by some of these icons, by some of these legends of the game. But, I mean, that's all I got for y'all. I feel like I did it right. I feel like I did it right. I ain't talk too much. I ain't go into detail. I ain't repeat a whole bunch of shit that I've already said over and over again. Man, had a good time in Waco this past weekend. Shout out to my Aunt Vicky, 60th birthday. You know if she heard me on this podcast, she would not want to hear me cuss. But I don't give a damn because I'm a grown-ass man. Right? But salute to my auntie. I love you. Kinfolk, CJ, Warren, Janae, and just salute to the Ward family. Y'all did a good job by putting that party on and just showing love, man. Thank y'all for showing up for her. It's your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your nephew, your friend, but I can't be your son. That's your kinfolk, William Jewell. Well, giving you my detail as I articulate. This is articulating rap, rap, rap.